There is a reason I was trained to work after midnight. Not because darkness has more power than light, but because people are least guarded after 12 a.m. When the world quiets, when distractions fade, when the body is tired and the mind is loose, something shifts spiritually. I didn't understand this at first. I thought midnight was symbolic, dramatic, ritualistic. It wasn't. Midnight is a threshold hour, not magical, transitional. It's the moment when yesterday officially releases you and tomorrow hasn't claimed you yet. In occult training, we were taught that transitions matter more than moments. Doors open during transitions, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And midnight is one of the largest daily transitions humans experience. That's why insomnia increases after 12 a.m. That's why anxiety spikes. That's why intrusive thoughts appear. That's why some people feel watched, heavy, restless, or unsettled. Not because darkness suddenly wakes up, but because your defenses relax. I'm breaking silence now because many believers blame themselves for what they experience late at night, without realizing they were never taught how midnight works spiritually. Tonight, I'm going to tell you what actually happens to people after 12 a.m. Not myths, not fear tactics. Truth. Because once you understand the hour, it loses its grip. After midnight, your body shifts into recovery mode. Your cortisol drops. Your reasoning slows. Your emotional memory rises. In occult practice, we didn't start with spirits, we started with biology, because the spirit follows structure. When the body is tired, high emotional filters weaken. A memory becomes more vivid. The fear feels louder. Self-control drops. That's why arguments escalate late at night. That's why regret feels heavier. That's why temptation feels stronger. It's not because you're weaker as a person. It's because fatigue opens access. Midnight doesn't create vulnerability. It reveals it. Have you noticed how thoughts change after midnight? Questions that didn't bother you all day suddenly feel overwhelming. Doubts you ignored return. Old memories resurface. Accusations sound convincing. In occult language, we call this mental surfacing, not attack, exposure. The mind processes unresolved material when silence removes distraction. This is why people replay failures at night. Why shame whispers louder. Why fear exaggerates reality. Darkness doesn't plant these thoughts. Unresolved agreements replay themselves, and midnight gives them the stage. Silence is powerful. In the occult, silence wasn't feared, it was used. Why? Because silence amplifies internal voices. After midnight, external noise drops. Internal dialogue rises. If someone has spent the day avoiding emotions, silence forces confrontation. This is why many people scroll endlessly at night, not for entertainment, but to avoid stillness. Stillness reveals truth, and truth can feel uncomfortable before it heals. We didn't randomly target people. We observed patterns. After midnight, we watched for repeated insomnia, the consistent emotional heaviness, recurring night thoughts, anxiety without clear cause, la shame, based self-talk, these weren't signs of possession. They were signs of unresolved internal conflict. And conflict creates openings. Darkness doesn't overpower people. It waits for agreement. Scripture often mentions night not as evil, but as exposing. Night reveals what daylight distracts from. This is why God often spoke to people at night, not because night is dark, but because attention is focused. But if your focus is unguarded, heaviness replaces clarity. Night doesn't change who you are. It reveals what you carry. After 12 a.m., the mind drifts closer to the subconscious. That's why dreams become vivid, memories surface, a fear feels real, logic feels distant. In occult practice, dreams were considered windows, not because we controlled them, but because they reveal internal states. Recurring night thoughts are signals, not attacks. Signals. They point to areas needing healing, truth, or surrender. Most believers end the day accidentally. They pray in the morning. They rush all day. They collapse at night. No closure, no covering, no intentional transition. In spiritual terms, what is not closed remains open. Midnight requires intentionality, not rituals, not fear, intention. The enemy doesn't need permission shouted. Silence is often enough. Protection isn't loud, it's clear. A simple acknowledgement like, God, I surrender this day. I receive your peace. That's enough. Clarity closes doors. Peace restores order. Darkness thrives on confusion, not power. This isn't always spiritual attack. Sometimes it's emotional backlog. Sometimes it's stress processing. Sometimes it's the soul asking for attention. The mistake is assuming fear instead of listening. Night awakenings are invitations to realign, not panic. People who understand midnight report were less anxiety, or quieter thoughts, a better sleep, a fewer intrusive memories, the more peace. Not because spirits vanished, because misunderstanding ended. God designed rest to heal you, not torment you. If night feels heavy, it doesn't mean you're under attack. It means something needs care. Healing is not dramatic, it's gentle. Let me say this clearly. Midnight has no power over you. Darkness doesn't rule time. God does. What changes after 12 a.m. isn't heaven or hell. It's attention. Where attention goes, influence follows. So tonight, don't fear the hour. Guard your mind. Release your burdens. Claim peace intentionally. Because when awareness replaces fear, the night loses its voice and rest becomes rest again.